and that's why they're kind of slow. But as to address your concern, Alderman Taylor, I did make a personnel change and reassigned some folks around. But, you know, as the mayor said, there was only 4 of those grants awarded from the Department of Energy, and North Little Rock got one of them. And
so, you know, and I guess to you know, you can stay there if you'd like to, but, you know, to carry on, you know, we have other opportunities through other contacts to work these grants. You know, for those of you who have attended Municipal League workshops, Municipal League also funds the workbook, which we have access to with a great many listed programs, both from private and governmental agencies. So it's a matter of us doing our homework and identifying what we want to do, and then come to under the mayor's leadership to a consensus of how we want to pursue those.
I can't give you an exact number off the top of my head, Alderman, but I think right now we've got well over $3 million in pending grants for the city of North Little Rock that we're awaiting word on. And some of them have actually been submitted for more than 9-10 months. And it's just, they're so overwhelmed, they're just not announcing them as quickly as we'd like.
Well, I understand the Preserve America grant funding hasn't come in either, so I know that's out there. But I do understand that you have made some personnel change, then is that correct? Because I know Alderman Taylor.
Matter of fact, I'd be remiss, I have 2 of my staff with me. Daniel Marks, if you'd stand, Daniel is your project manager and has been now since October.
Okay.
And then Mark Butzberger is another one of our staff that's here with me tonight. So we did make some changes, and I appreciate your feedback, Alderman Taylor, and I acted on it when you notified me.
Well, because, I mean, you heard the story about what happened to us, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Like I said, as long as you, Alderman Robinson, she's smiling because she calls me at the office all the time, and I'd encourage, you know, Mayor Hayes does too when he needs something, and as Mr. Sisson said, he and Stephanie both keep a pretty good contact and communication back and forth. You know, we're here. You were my first client. I have never forgotten that. And like Mr. Sisson said.
I mean, because the only thing I want to say is that I've been doing some research myself, and there's a lot of grant money out there, a lot of it.
Yes.
And I know sometimes it takes a lot of effort to write the grant and get the grant submitted on time and presentation of the grant. But when you know, there's a couple of grant opportunities that I knew that we had a pretty good chance to get, and we didn't get them. And one was when we were represented by you or by your firm, and after the presentation was done, one of the people we were presenting to suggested to us that we hire professional grant writers.
Well, it's like I said, I made a change. I did what I had to do. It was not an easy thing for me to do it, but I made changes.
And you know, alderman, being an alderman is not, it is a full-time job, and I take a lot of my time going to meetings, going to grant presentations, sitting in meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting to make sure that this stuff stays on track. And then when I get hit in the face with something like that, it doesn't feel very good.
I understand that, and I apologize, and I took steps to fix that. And so, like I said, we just got 2 more approvals pending, and probably 3 once the Parks grant comes, and that will put, just for the last year under the last contract, close to $750,000 in grants we procured for the city.
Well, I want to underline, you know, my appreciation to Stephen and his firm. I know that, you know, there's one project that he's sort of on his own is bringing to hopefully an opportunity with us. And I know that, you know, right now trying to get the Hoga from California is not at the top of our list. That's one of the things that we agreed to do a number of years ago, and it certainly hadn't been. It's been with a desire that we would find some support in doing that, and you know, that support has not at least been material in the terms of finding an earmark or something of some assistance. And I know Stephen is working to try to help us make make that happen, and we appreciate it. So
thank you
again. A lot to do, and much more than we really have the ability to, but certainly we're going to follow through with chance that we have, and I think we feel this is an investment that's worthwhile. Any further questions?
I just will tell Alderwoman Ross, your program that you just mentioned was canceled by the president in the next year's budget. It was $30 million. The Save America's Treasures program is still going to be funded, but the preservation grants have been canceled in the next budget. So you might want to let Senator Lincoln, Senator Pryor, and Congressman Schneider know.
We, just because it's not in the president's budget doesn't mean that it's not going to be there, but that's going to mean.
Mayors, city council people, and other concerned citizens contact the congressional offices. That usually does get someone's attention.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Any
Mayor.
other questions? Is there, I think a motion's been made, Ms. Whitby. Any other discussion on the motion?
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baggett?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
R1041, Mayor Hayes.
Please call it.
A resolution appropriating $33,377.44 from Act 833 funds for the purchase of miscellaneous equipment and materials for construction of a training burn building for the North Little Rock Fire Department.
Move for adoption.
Second.
On the motion?
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baggett?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
Ordinance 1016, Alderman Ross.
Please call it.
This is an ordinance amending ordinance number 8237 to clarify the annual service charge to be assessed to each household in the Heritage Park Circle Urban Service District Number 1 of North Little Rock, Arkansas. First reading.
Move to suspend the rules and place on second reading.
Second.
On the motion?
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baggett?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 8237 to clarify the annual service charge to be assessed to each household in the Heritage Park Circle Urban Service District Number 1 of North Little Rock, Arkansas. Second reading.
Move to suspend the rules and place on third reading.
Second.
On the motion?
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baggett?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 8237 to clarify the annual service charge to be assessed to each household in the Heritage Park Circle Urban Service District Number 1 of North Little Rock, Arkansas. Third and final reading.
On the question?
Ross?
I wanted to explain this.
Help yourself.
Okay, what this is, and Mr. Carter can help me, when we were discussing the urban service district at the last city council meeting, it was discussed that each household would be charged $250. When we got to looking, that was not ever amended into the actual $250 amount. So we just wanted to make sure that this was clarified, that the $250 was in there, that there was no questions asked. So that's all this is just to clarify the amount.
All right, where are we, Ms. Whitby?
It's been read 3 times.
All right, let's motion adopt on
Move
third.
for adoption.
Is there a second?
Second.
On third and final, Ms. Whitby?
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baggett?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baggett?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
Concludes new business.
Thank you, Ms. Whitby. Let me, before I acknowledge the council, let me just, I guess, ask a question. I see 5 young people who are taking notes copiously, and we are assuming that it's assignment of some type. Would one of y'all care to introduce yourselves? We're happy to have you here, and we're glad you're a part of the council meeting. So is there anything y'all would like to introduce? Or 6? Well, no, 5. So welcome, I guess.
I got it here.
No.
Okay.
We're from UALR, and we're part of the public affairs reporting class, so this is the capstone to our journalism requirement, and so we are here for this semester to cover the meetings.
Well, great. Well, would you mind introducing you and your colleagues? Because we're glad you're here.
I'm Rachel Hood. That's Kate Knable, and that's Jim Stallings, Harrison Mitchell, and LaToya Surgeon.
And so you're going to be with us for a while, eh?
Hopefully for the next meeting, and that'll be it.
Well,
We'll come back, but
we didn't mean to embarrass any of
we're only
y'all.
forced to for the semester, so.
We certainly didn't mean to embarrass you, but we're proud to have you a part of our city council, not only tonight, but whenever else you might want to come back and tell your folks that we are pleased that that we're a part of your curriculum.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Witcher?
Mayor, quick note to Ms. Ross. Mr. Finnegan indicated that that historic program had been canceled. The reason the president canceled it was because congressmen were earmarking the funds before they got out, and it was intended to be a competitive type grant, and so it will come back, as the mayor said, but it's just, he marked it out of his budget because of that reason. So,
Any other council member? Let me open it up. We have several folks who have signed up for public comment section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're not mandated, but you're welcome.
Good evening, council, members, mayor. I'm here tonight as a member of the North Little Rock School Board to invite you to two important events coming up in the next week. First off, next Tuesday afternoon at 5 p.m., the North Little Rock School Board will be reviewing RFPs from 3 shortlisted firms for a facilities master plan. The reason I bring this up is that I encourage you to be there and all the citizens to be there. This is a master plan that basically will affect every school building in this city, whether it be through renovation, demolition, addition, or reconstruction. That master plan will go on with community meetings and all that, basically looking at every building in the district over the next, where we need to be in 10 years with that building, and include financing studies of how we can get there, rebuilding basically this district. As many of you know, good cities are built in good cooperation with schools. You can't recruit businesses without good schools, and good schools are needed with good cities as well. I'm sure Caterpillar wouldn't be here without positive recommendation, positive input from our schools. So you guys have been a wonderful partner in the schools, whether it be with the athletics and the football field, the school resource officers that you fund, where in the past we have sometimes fallen down is in communication. That's what I want to make sure still happens with you all. So this will affect each of your wards. I encourage you to be there. We'll be interviewing 3 firms in that shortlisted process. It'll be at 5 o'clock at the school board building, 2700 Poplar Street. It will probably go on till about 8:30 or 9 o'clock. I believe they each have an hour to do their presentations, and they'll give you a good sense of what's going on in that regard. Second event, although it comes first, is this Friday night. Our girls basketball team is undefeated in the state finals at Hot Springs in Summit Arena, 8:45 p.m. I will be there. If you don't have anything you're doing on a Friday night, I encourage you to go down to Summit Arena. Tickets are $8. They're undefeated. It's a rematch of last year's playoff game against Fayetteville, where Fayetteville won. And by the way, we're ranked number 11 in the country in our girls basketball team by ESPN. So please make the trip down to Hot Springs. Enjoy the team. Enjoy the game. They're very good.
We obviously encourage everybody to do that. Terrific ladies, and we look forward to welcoming them to this council at some time in the very near future. They're state champs for us already. Alderwoman White.
Just, can you repeat the date of that meeting?
It's next Tuesday, the 16th, 5 p.m. It will start at the North Little Rock School Board office, the board chambers at 2700 Poplar, 5 p.m. We'll probably go on to at least 9 p.m. Each presentation will take about an hour, plus comments and questions. And then they'll be making a decision, probably at the school board meeting the following Thursday, as for a firm select, and we'll get right into it, hopefully having a master plan done before the end of the year with where we're going with buildings and facilities. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ard.
Good evening. I am James Ard. First, Ms. Whitby, I need some help with this one. One of the city employees lost her husband this weekend unexpectedly, and I do not know her name.
Anita Rouse.
Okay. Let's remember that family in our prayers, if you don't mind, because it was unexpected. Next, thank you, Mayor, for the donation you gave to my friend's place. It was very thankful. For everybody's information, my friend's place is taking up donations to help with the monument that they want to do to salute our soldiers. And you can get in contact with them, and they'll give you the bank to go to. The library, Miss Ross and I was able to get a little preview of that other day when we was down there. It's a great exhibit. I encourage everyone to go to it. I would like to know why Code is not doing anything about the candidate signs that are getting out too early. I remember, Mayor, I can't call code because I had to give it to them in writing. Next one is, there's a lot of graffiti about the mayor, which I've asked the council members to get rid of. I won't call your names tonight, but please get rid of that graffiti. Our mayor has earned the title of mayor. Let's respect him and get rid of the graffiti. Ms. Powell was up here a while ago. If you'll sign up to work for the census, you can get $12.75, and it's our understanding, Ms. Powell's and mine, that the wages can go up to $16 an hour. You do have to go take the test. I would like for Miss Debbie and Mr. Taylor to tell us a little bit more about the grants that you didn't get, or I can FOI it, doesn't matter, but I'd like for the public to know it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ard. Microphone's open. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council. My name is Belinda Dugan. I live in Ward 3 on Arthur Drive. And I thank Mr. Baggett for attempting to bring the issue of the drainage issue that we are having in Ward 3 on Arthur Drive to the council's attention. Also, an overgrown lot at the end of Arthur Drive that has a ditch. It is private property. It does have a ditch that is standing full of water. There needs to be something on the books that has property owners' responsibility to upkeep their lots. This water is standing. It has been for some time. It's a health hazard, number one, a den for mosquito, snakes, whatever the case may be, as well as dead and diseased trees that are on that lot. Half of it has fallen and missed my house about that much. If it would have been that whole tree, my house would have been damaged or destroyed. We have been trying to get something done about this drainage issue ever since I've lived there. Mrs. Johnson is here with me tonight. She's lived there longer than I have, and it continues to get worse. There's one drainage outlet, if you will, and that's where Arthur Drive runs into Rock Street. A lot of the water is coming from this overgrown lot, and we need something done about it. We hear of funding for the arts, funding for this, funding for that. We need funding for drainage in this city. These are our homes, these are our properties that we have invested in. I do want to clarify one thing. I believe, Ms. Robinson, you said that everyone lives in a floodplain, or not everybody lives in a floodplain. Everyone does live in a flood zone. However, there are those who do not live in special hazard flood zones that is required to have flood insurance. We don't live in one, but it's a good thing to have flood insurance anyway, as self-protection. Just as if you have property damage to your home, you can of course file that on your homeowner's insurance. We need something done about the flood, the drainage situation, not only in our neighborhood, but also in other parts of this city. I understand you want to fund the arts. I understand you want to reach the youth. I understand this, but we need something done about the flooding issues in this city. I would appreciate it. Y'all can come and look at the end of Arthur Drive if y'all want to. I will be there tomorrow at my home, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dugan. I have been out last fall and looked at the problem and have some some understanding of it, and we certainly intend to take a look at whatever we can do. I know that the weather has been exceptionally. We had more than 20 inches above the highest rain year we've ever had.
I understand that, but it doesn't matter if it rains just a shower. The street floods and the water stands there. It does not flow down to the drainage at the end of Rock Street and Arthur Drive. It just stands there.
Can I say something, Mayor? This water is on private property.
The ditches.
The ditch runs through private property, and I understand there's no, legislation to correct that or whatever, but the water runs out of the private property onto the public street.
Right.
And it's not just clear, fresh branch water. I mean, it's yucky, green
Right now, the ditch, and like I said, right now you can see
that runs right out onto the public street, and it creates moss and
I have pictures right now that I can
nastiness
show
all
you.
in her
It's
yard.
standing there, and it's a breeding ground for mosquitoes and snakes and whatever else. And in the summertime, when the humidity is so high, the stench is so bad you can't stand it.
Mayor.
We're
if
going
it's-
to try to pay some attention. Now, it was just brought to my attention late last fall. That's the first that I had heard about it. And, you know, the conditions in order to try to talk to that property owner and to go into the property have just not been available. So, you know, rest assured, as soon as we have the opportunity, we're going to see what we can do.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, no, the only thing I was going to say is that if it was a health hazard and it is as bad as they say that it is, then there is something that, you know, we as a city can do.
Ms. Johnson's husband is on oxygen, more so in the summertime when the humidity is high, and he could hardly get out of his house without anything. And I, believe me, the stench was so bad in June when the humidity was so high, I thought something had died out through there.
Let's see what we can do
Okay,
just as
thank
soon
you.
as we can.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir, Mr. Baxter.
I'm Steve Baxter, and I was one of 5,000 plus people who went out for a little stroll yesterday. Some people went out a little bit longer than me. However, I would just like to say a big thank you to anyone in the city who had anything to do with any tasking before, during, or after Little Rock Marathon weekend. It made it a very special event for me because it was my first one, and I don't want that to go unnoticed. Just a big thanks.
How'd you do?
I did 13.1, and, well, I finished, and even though it looks like I'm walking okay, I'm still in a little bit of pain, but I did 13.1 in an hour, 56 and 30.
I had an opportunity to greet Mr. Baxter along with that other 4,000 or 5,000 folks at the foot of the Broadway Bridge as they came over to North Little Rock and as they left, and we were proud to do it and certainly happy to see you, and we're wishing you the best as you came through, along with thanks to the North Little Rock Police Department, the Fire Department, and others that were a part of it.
Absolutely.
Anyone else? Do I have a motion? Before I accept the motion, let me do two things real quick. First of all, the 20th Annual Carousel Ball is April the 10th at the Hayes Center, and we encourage everyone to consider being a part of it. And Thursday night, March 18th, is Poetry Night at the Special Events Center at the North Little Rock High School West Campus. I'm sure that they would love to have you in attendance. You know, Mr. Miller's a part of our school board. That's something that's special. So please put those two items on your calendar. And with that, on the motion, Ms. Whitby.
Ross, White, Taylor, Robinson, Baggett, Height, Witcher.
Yes.